Hey guys, welcome to In China, Lynne and Elliot here. In the last video, we talked about the ongoing trade war between China and the US, and I noticed the comments say we have been brainwashed by our government. But I have to say, it is our job to tell you what kind of thought is trending on Chinese social media, and that is what most Chinese people think about the trade war. Okay, back to the topic. Now, the US President Donald Trump went further by signing executive order banning Huawei from US.
Well, he didn't specifically talk about China or Huawei, but we all know who he's targeting at.
Is something that says the United States of America is now making it illegal for you to buy a phone from a company that they deem an adversary. Doesn't seem clear, does it?
Well, it's behind, they're not saying it, but it's pretty clear that this is towards Huawei.
But there's nothing here that says China. There's nothing here that says Huawei.
It doesn't say it, but I mean, we have these trade negotiations, these escalating tariffs with China. The United States, the Trump administration has said that Huawei is being used to spy on the United States.
So here, but let's stop for a minute. What you're saying to our audience is that this presidential order signed by President Trump is essentially essentially telling Americans that they may not, and under penalty of law, they cannot buy a Huawei phone in America.
That's the implication. I mean, like you said, it doesn't say China, it doesn't say Huawei, but that is the very clear implication. I mean, the United States has said that Huawei is used to spy on Americans, so there's never been any evidence presented of that.
There's no certain evidence, but it doesn't stop US from identifying Huawei as the national security threat.
And after the president's order, the US Commerce Department put Huawei into the entity list, which means that Huawei could not buy any parts or components from US companies without approval.
It is kind of unreasonable.
But let's look at Huawei's response.
Restricting Huawei from doing business in the US will not make the US more secure or stronger. Instead, this will only serve to limit the US to inferior yet more expensive alternatives, leaving the US lagging behind in 5G deployment and eventually harming the interests of US companies and consumers.
Maybe Donald Trump is more familiar with this. When they go low, we go high.
And this news sparkled some heated discussion too on social media. These are some comments we gathered for you.
Right now, netizens are basically doing two things: showing support for Huawei or making fun of Donald Trump.
But isn't making fun of Trump what we do?
Yeah, like they don't do it in US. I mean, thanks to Donald Trump, the talk show host is doing a much easier job now.
Well, let's back to the topic and see the comments. Well, I have no idea Huawei is a so powerful company.
They took an interview to Huawei CEO Ren Zhengfei, and he was really proud and he was really glad that American took such kind of restriction because he thinks that is an advertisement of Huawei to make Huawei so well known national.
Well, I think he's fully entitled to his opinion because really, in reality, Huawei is becoming a much more powerful company than it was some years ago.
And you see some comments say, should we do the same to the Apple? I mean, maybe we can suggest that Apple will be less popular in China. Another thing Chinese people find it amusing is that US declared a national emergency state. Because we normally think you declare national emergency when it is really emergency like war or earthquake.
Let's see the comments.
It seems like Donald Trump has a habit of declaring national emergency, like over the border war. He's really like the Chinese story, 狼来了, Wolf is coming.
Yeah, and after all, he's the host of The Apprentice. He's the drama king of the United States.
I saw a very interesting comment online. He is from America, and he said, wait for us until 2020, then we can negotiate like adults.
Now there's some good comments.
I guess Huawei will fight back. This kind of restrictions would lead to legal battles, and Huawei would just withdraw its investments from UK, as Ren Zhengfei said earlier.
And we know Vodafone's 5G service will be launched in UK in July, and Huawei is the equipment provider among others.
Now it is interesting to see how things going forward. Will US become secure, or will it lag behind the field of 5G?
That's all for today.
Some people don't get it why we are taking such an a serious attitude. I have to say we have so many people in our country, and frankly speaking, I don't have really a strong feeling as being a Chinese in my daily life. But when it comes to competition, any kind of competition, even like the Olympic Games, we fight together.
So we'd like to hear your feedbacks. Do you know the brand Huawei in your daily life? Have you used any Huawei products? And what's your opinion about US government's policy to Huawei? Please leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe our channel.
Okay, see you next time.
Bye.